The first Christians didn't use the cross. They didn't have churches either. So how did Christianity survive and then spread to become a global faith? It's a story of quiet beginnings, secret meetings, and a power that didn't come from buildings or symbols, but from people. To understand this, we need to go back to the very beginning, to a time when faith was a dangerous and deeply personal act. Early Christianity began quietly, not in grand temples or public squares, but inside ordinary homes. Imagine a small room, dimly lit by oil lamps, filled with a few families, friends, and neighbors. These were the first Christian communities. They weren't formal institutions. They were networks of trust and shared belief. Because for the first few hundred years, being a Christian was illegal in the Roman Empire. So, believers met in secret, often at night, gathering behind closed doors to share a meal, pray, and read letters from apostles like Paul. Think about what that meant. Every gathering carried a risk. Betrayal could come from a neighbor, a disgruntled friend, or even a family member. Faith wasn't just a part of life. It was a life-or-death commitment. This constant danger shaped the nature of early belief. It was intimate, personal, and incredibly strong. Without the support of public institutions, their strength came from each other. They formed tight-knit communities that functioned like extended families, offering support, encouragement, and a sense of belonging in a hostile world. The faith spread not through grand pronouncements, but through these small, resilient house churches, one home at a time. This was the foundation not built of stone, but of human connection and shared conviction. For the first few centuries, there were no churches as we know them today. No towering cathedrals with stained glass windows, no designated holy buildings. If you were to travel back to the 2nd century and ask a Christian where their church was, they wouldn't point to a building, they would point to the people gathered with them. The early Christian concept of church, or ekklesia in Greek, meant the assembly or the gathering. The church wasn't a place you went to, it was the community you belonged to. This is a fundamental shift from how many of us think about religion today. We often associate faith with specific buildings, churches, synagogues, mosques, but for the early Christians, the sacred space was wherever they gathered. It could be a dining room in a Roman apartment, a hidden courtyard, or even a catacomb where they honored their dead. There were no public symbols, no clerical hierarchies in the way we'd recognize them now. Leadership was more fluid, often based on spiritual wisdom and the practical need of hosting the community in one's home. The focus was entirely on the people and their shared life of faith, proving that the essence of the movement was relational, not architectural. Today, the cross is the most recognizable Christian symbol around the world, but in the beginning, it wasn't used. In fact, for an early Christian, the cross would have been a horrifying sight. It was a brutal Roman tool for execution, reserved for criminals, rebels, and slaves. It was a symbol of state-sponsored terror, humiliation, and agonizing death. Displaying a cross would be like someone today using an electric chair or a guillotine as a symbol of hope. It was simply unthinkable. So what did they use instead? Early Christians relied on subtle, coded symbols that only other believers would recognize. One of the most common was the fish. The letters of the Greek word for fish, ichthys, formed an acronym for Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior. It was a secret password, a quick way to identify a fellow believer without alerting the authorities. They also used the anchor, a symbol of hope and steadfastness during the storms of life. The image of the Good Shepherd, carrying a lamb on his shoulders, was another favorite, representing Jesus' care and protection for his followers. These simple signs spoke volumes. They were symbols of hope, identity, and community, not of power or institutional authority. Faith came first, and these symbols were just quiet expressions of that deeply held belief. So if there were no official campaigns or armies to spread the new faith, how did it travel from a small corner of Judea across the vast Roman Empire? Christianity didn't spread through conquest. It spread through people, and through the incredible infrastructure of the Roman world. It traveled along the famous Roman roads, carried by merchants, soldiers, and travelers who had heard the message in one city and shared it in another. It moved through sea lanes, from port to port, weaving its way into the fabric of urban life. The Balkans, in particular, became a crucial crossroads for this new movement. Geographically, the region was a bridge connecting the eastern provinces, where Christianity was born, with the West, including Rome itself. Major Roman roads, like the Via Egnatia, cut straight through the Balkans, linking the Adriatic to Constantinople. Cities like Philippi, Thessaloniki, and Corinth became major hubs of Christian activity, home to some of the earliest communities founded by the Apostle Paul. The message was passed from person to person, from home to home. A stranger would arrive in town, stay with a local believer, and the community would grow. It was a grassroots movement in the truest sense of the word. From these scattered, small communities, a powerful and resilient network began to form, proving that ideas, carried by ordinary people, could be more powerful than empires. For nearly 300 years, this was the reality of Christian life, a minority faith, often misunderstood and periodically persecuted, surviving in the shadows. But then, in the 4th century, everything changed. The turning point was the Roman Emperor Constantine. After a pivotal military victory he attributed to the Christian God, Constantine began a series of reforms that would transform the faith forever. In the year 313, with the Edict of Milan, he declared religious tolerance throughout the empire. Christianity was no longer illegal. This was a seismic shift. Believers could finally emerge from their homes and catacombs and worship in the open. The faith became public, accepted, and eventually, the favored religion of the empire. With imperial patronage came resources. Christians began to build dedicated places of worship for the first time. The first great basilicas were constructed in Rome, Jerusalem, and other major cities. And with this new public status, the symbolism changed to the cross. Once a symbol of Roman terror and shame, was reinterpreted. It was transformed into a symbol of Christ's victory over death, a sign of divine power and imperial triumph. The quiet faith of the house churches was becoming the public religion of an empire. So why does this early history matter today? It's a powerful reminder that before there were buildings, there were believers. Before there were public symbols, there was personal faith. Christianity didn't begin as an institution or a global power. It began with small groups of people, sharing a conviction in the privacy of their homes, creating communities of support in a hostile world. Its strength wasn't in wealth or political influence, but in the connections between people. This story shows that a movement's power doesn't always come from the top down. It can grow from the ground up, spreading through personal relationships and shared hope. The journey from a secret household gathering to a worldwide faith is a testament to the resilience of human belief. It reminds us that the core of this story is not about the rise of an institution, but about the people who carried its message through danger and uncertainty, armed with little more than their faith in each other and in their God. This is just one chapter of early Christian history, a story of quiet beginnings and profound transformation. There are many more stories to tell about how this faith shaped the world we live in today. Thanks for watching, and if you found this interesting, be sure to follow for more.